Hey again. So, I'm outside my parents' front yard. I apologize for me squinting a lot, but it's really bright out. I might actually move in a minute. I just wanted to lay on the grass, and it's not as comfortable as I thought it was gonna be. Um, when I used to live in Fort McMurray, Alberta, my dad's like a big gardener, and our grass was always like the greenest on the block, and I would always go out and lay on it because it was so comfortable, but the soil must be a bit different here because it's really not that comfortable. And this is kind of hurting my eyes, so yeah, I'm gonna move. Just like a little table over here. Oh, that's better. Okay, so you can still see me. Yes, yes. Alright, so like I said, it's 3 months. For anybody who watched the previous video of me injecting. Things on the tea front are going well. I think my voice is getting a bit deeper. It was funny because, like I said, I'm in Alberta, and this is the first time that I've been back visiting here since sorry, since being on testosterone. And it was funny because I called a couple people and they're like, "Who is this?" And just got like a couple comments from people saying how drastically my voice has changed and that I look manly now. Which, you know, it's always a compliment. And dealt with like some other crap. I won't go into the whole family issue because I don't want to like talk about that on here, but not having a good time with my mom. Yeah, it's not really going fantastic. It's like 1 minute she gets it and the other she doesn't. So I have some decisions to make. Being back in Alberta is kind of, I don't know, like my life is so different in Vancouver. I'm used to doing my own thing when I want. Just for example, like my parents live out in the country, kind of like 20 minutes from a small town, about an hour outside Edmonton. So even that, I feel like really isolated. Like it's beautiful out here and it's quiet, but I'm used to being right in the midst of everything, like living on the drive and, you know, biking everywhere. And just being here is like kind of an adjustment, especially like when my parents have things planned that they don't tell me about until like 10 minutes before. Like I'll be doing something or whatever and they're like, "Oh yeah, come help me with this," which is fine. But it's, I don't know, like when I make plans with anybody else in Vancouver, it's like, okay, we're gonna hang out at this time, and like I have time to do my own shit or whatever, and it's just anybody who's moved away and gone back to visit or whatever, I imagine knows what I'm talking about. I think pretty much anybody can relate to this, but just my life has changed a lot in the past year, and coming back here reminds me, first of all, exactly why I moved. I'm really, there's no doubt in my mind that moving to Vancouver was the right decision. But it's like, it's hard to deal with some of the stuff here now, especially being around people that have just seen me as a big dyke, you know, having that shift to see me in a different light is difficult for some people, and, you know, that's understandable. It's just, I get a little frustrated. Perhaps with myself, and because I'm not seeing changes as quickly, but I mean, come on, it's been 3 months. There has been significant change, but it's like, you know, it can't go fast enough. You know, it won't go, it's not going to be fast enough until I pass 100% of the time. But, you know, I have to be compassionate with myself and with other people too, right? But it's interesting because, like I said, my parents live outside a small town, and I went to like Canadian Tire. For those Americans out there that have no idea what I'm talking about, it's like a Home Depot. Anyways, I went there with my dad, and it was strange. Like, I totally passed. And as I've mentioned in my my videos before, in Vancouver, I don't ever. So it was kind of a trip. Like, it made me feel great, but it's because I definitely come off as a very gay man, I think that in itself made people a little uncomfortable. Like, men wouldn't look at me in the eye whatsoever, but women would look at me, and it was it was strange. It's just like, how people relate to you as a woman is completely different when they relate to you as a guy. And especially, in Alberta, because it's a lot more conservative. I mean, I'm not worried that I'm gonna get harassed or anything, but it's very hetero out here, and I think seeing a gay man makes some people uncomfortable, especially like the male population out here, which, like, if you grow up and that's all you know, I understand. Like, I don't want to be judgmental whatsoever, but it's just like, it's interesting, that shift in how people take you. It was good though. I mean, I was so excited when I realized that, hey, I'm actually passing. And, I haven't been called sir, but I was having coffee with an ex-boyfriend of mine, and people won't use pronouns for me. Like, in Vancouver, how I know I don't pass is because I get ma'amed all the time. But here it's like, oh, okay, see you guys, and like, it's hard to explain, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Well, I was gonna talk about specific things in this video, but of course I just ramble on and no idea. Yeah, I go home in a few days. I got to see my sister, which was great because she's being really supportive. Like, we hated each other when we were kids. Hated each other. We don't look anything alike. It's, people don't think we're related. It's kind of funny because we have Native in our family, and so she looks like my dad. Like, she's got darker skin, black hair, brown eyes, and she's about an inch taller than me. And as you can see, I'm chubby, which is fine, but like, she's had 3 kids and she's still like a stick figure. It's funny. But we used to, and she press my buttons because she knew how to do it. Anybody that knows me whatsoever, I'm pretty easy to get riled up. And but now it's like, we talk and we actually have conversations, whereas before she'd just call me just to get into an argument. I'm not really sure why, maybe for her own entertainment. But now it's, we actually have conversations, and even though, like, she totally messes up on pronouns and names and stuff, like, she's making a really big effort. She uses my name and my proper, well, she uses he, which is totally fine, when talking to, because I have 2 nieces and a nephew, and, which is great because, like, I really, well, the 2 younger ones are 3 and 6, so for them to see me more as an uncle than an aunt is really important right now, because I don't see them that often. It's not like I can see them every day, because they live a province away. But yeah, so this weekend I'm going to be seeing my oldest niece, who's 10, and trying to explain things to her, because she's the only one where I feel like I actually have to sit down and have a conversation. I've decided to draw her a picture because I'm visual when it comes to learning, and I think she might be too. I'm not really sure. So, whoa, 8:35, I talk a lot. So I'm gonna go, but all in all, everything's going well. Even though I'm really resisting being here, I really think that this visit should have happened. Things like that just put things in perspective for me. Needless to say, though, I'm really excited to go back to Vancouver and see everybody, as well as having a wonderful visitor in a couple weeks, which will be amazing. I have so many dorky, romantic, wonderful things planned. And if we don't get to them, that's fine too, but as long as we do a couple and ride bikes and be nerds, then I'll be happy. I was gonna pose a question at the end of this so I could get some people's responses, but I can't remember what the hell it is. So I'm gonna try and make a habit of writing those things down, so I can have them as a reference for my next video. But hopefully everybody's doing well. Everybody's like progressing, the people who are on to the people who aren't. Everybody's moving in a forward direction, and I like the little community that we got going on here, because I would love to write this all down, but I know I never would, so I resort to YouTube.